And now you've got yourself something funky.
Yeah, yep. Here we are, all energetic.
Yeah,
ready to jump in with the woo. Two of us aren't feeling very well. I don't think energy's kind of low a little bit all around, right? But
yeah, we'll still have fun with it.
Yeah, we're still gonna have fun. We're still talking about some fun stuff and try not to cough into the mic too much, or lose our voice. So this is 442. Talk about geek stuff, fun stuff, just about anything we really want. Usually focus on board games. And tonight we're going to be talking about our top 5 non-gamer family-friendly games.
Is it my internet?
No,
might
it's
be.
Chris.
Yeah, it might be mine.
Okay.
If I'm coming out all weird and stuff, then you take over, Mike. Tell them what we're doing.
Oh, sure, yeah, okay.
But yeah, we're basically talking about games that you could play with your family on Thanksgiving and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
If you're in the U.S., I know Canada already had theirs, which we mostly ignored, I guess.
No, I think we talked about it. I remember talking about
did.
turkey and cranberry jelly coming out of a can.
It's the best way to have cranberry sauce. I can't wait.
Yep.
So, question for everybody: what's your favorite game to play with your non-player family? Is that how you non-player family? That's not how you say it.
I like it. That's really good.
I don't
Non-player
know.
family?
Non-gamer family.
I made the title Muggle family members. I know, but I've been told since that some people dislike that. I mean, it comes from Harry Potter. It can't be. It's just basically people who aren't involved in the gaming world, right? Versus people who aren't involved in the wizarding world. I'm a Muggle when it comes to sports. I'm a Muggle when it comes to all kinds of stuff. I don't necessarily think it's that big a deal, but let us know if we're wrong. I'm always willing to hear opinions. I might not look like it, but but anyway, so we're gonna talk about top 5 non-game. Oh, this way I did top 5 non-gamer family games. Is that better?
Sure.
Yeah, I think you're a gamer or non-gamer. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense. And then we're going to talk about, I went to BGGCon, picked all this stuff up. And then or maybe I didn't, maybe I brought it to BGGCon. And then talk about Black Widow, because Mike, you finally saw Black Widow.
I did. Nice.
We'll get how much you hated that out of the way.
You want that first?
No. We'll put that at the end. So in case people hadn't seen it, they can skip past that.
Fair enough.
Again, sorry for the voice and coughing and whatnot.
I'm not sorry at all.
Yeah, your voice sounds nice and low.
Yeah, super great. It's a radio voice, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Weird that we're both kind of sick at the same time.
Yeah. It's like we just know, right? It's been so long and we just know. Yeah.
And it hasn't yet. We haven't even been doing this for a year. This is episode number 43.
Yeah. Coming up on a year.
So anyway, how was both of your weeks? I mean, I was gone all week for BGGCon, but
yeah, I think you have way more to talk about than we do.
Yeah.
So how is BGGCon? We always, it seems like this entire summer we would come back to a Monday show and it would be us talking about the Gathering or Gen Con or Origins or whatever. And now we actually get to grill you on BGGCon. We did get a lot of updates on you and Peter and your back and forth with the gaming, but how was it?
Yeah, on Discord, Peter and I, well, mostly Peter actually, like to give people the updates as to how he and I were doing against each other. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a blow by blow of what games we played and who won. I got graphics and everything.
Oh wow, you're ready.
So we'll do that after the top 5. But overall, it was a very nice con. It was, I think they cut attendance down, and it was still at the large hotel, so everything felt spread out. We always found a table where a few tables were empty around us, but the whole hall was still full of people. You know, it was pretty comfortable, to be honest. Next year, whenever it doubles in population, it's probably going to feel a little more crowded than I like. But yeah, it was nice. I mean, it's basically 4.5 days of gaming, so can't go wrong with that. You know.
Can't at all. And it's not far from you, right? It's a couple
Yeah, it's this 4-hour drive from Houston to Dallas. It's the drive. So yeah, I mean, the good thing about driving to a con is, probably is you can get things or bring things, and so we brought some games we weren't sure we are going to be able to find in a library and all that stuff. Well, they'd have it, but not sure if other people will check it out all the time.
Right.
I even brought Dwellings, was big enough, but we didn't get around to playing Dwellings.
You did get to play what was the one we were making fun of you about? Was it Caverna?
Yes, yeah, we did play Caverna.
Nice.
Caverna. Cave.
Caverna. I think it's Caverna.
Well, it's a cave, right? So wouldn't it be Caverna?
I don't know. Don't ask the French person then. I tried to Englishize it for you, trying to make it sound.
I mean, Texan's not much better sometimes. So we didn't really talk about. I just said, "Hey, do our top 5 games, whatnot," and we didn't talk about anything outside of that. What is here? I'll put up the little banner again. Oh, you know what? Forgot to do a little like and subscribe, please. So what is the top 5 gamer? What does that mean to you guys? What popped in your head for it? Restrictions?
To me, it's so my mom is a non-gamer aside from Scrabble. So I grew up playing Scrabble with her, but that was the extent of her gaming. Anything that has too many rules, she's out. It's it has to be easy to learn and not overly complicated. So normally it's, I don't know, simpler games that I thought, there was her in mind and then a couple of friends who we've gamed with before that I kind of had in mind when picking my choices. But yeah, something simple that you can play while still talking and catching up, for those that aren't gamers that like to dedicate, sit down time to just focus on the game. They still want to talk to you because, this isn't their thing necessarily. So
yep.
Yeah, that's the kind of game I picked.
Yeah, I had some family members in mind while thinking of this, and you're right. There's a lot of times where I have to take my gamer personality out of it because, I'll go and I'll be like, "All right, it's your turn," and they'll turn to someone else and go, "Hey, did you hear about blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "What are you doing? You're talking on your turn. It's your turn. What are you doing?" And then they'll talk for a while. "Oh, I'm gonna get up and get some coffee." I'm like, "But we're in the middle of a game." I have to take that gamer mentality out and just know that you're just spending time with family and talking, right? The game is very surface level, doesn't matter that much. Yeah. It's a good call. Mike, any differences there?
No, basically the same. Definitely have to take your gamer hat off because non-gamers playing a game, especially if you like the game and want to get into the game, it hurts sometimes. I at just more recently at BGGCon, we were playing a 7-player Arkham, and I had to be the dick to be like, "Look, you guys need to cut it out because this game is going to take way too long if we don't. Like, there was all side chatter, and I felt like an asshole, but like, you have to do it, especially with that. I've done it here every year. Well, not recently, but we used to play Arkham here on New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. And I remember I had 8 people here, and there was just side chatter, like multiple side chatters in an 8-person game. And I was like, guys, no, like it was the most frustrated I've ever been. And then I kind of relived it at QSCon again. It has to like come out because one, if you love the game, you're going to want to play the game.
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to share the same love, so they're not really invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to, there can't be that many rules. Like, it's got to be a quick, like when you talk to a lot of people about like mass market gaming has to be very easy to get into. You open the box, a few rules, you're up and playing, like very quick. And that's kind of like when you think of non-gamers, like I think of my mom and I think of my sister. And if I had to show them a game, how much time do I have their attention for to get them into playing a game? So. Also, it helps if you can bring in something that is somewhat familiar. Like one of my games is kind of a parallel to another thing that most people know. So like when you think of rules in a game, can you compare it to something that somebody already knows or has already done without knowing it was a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Is the short rule structure? You just kind of tell them real quick.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I stuck to that. I have one in here that it takes a little bit more, but if you can, if you got some middle ground, like some people that have a little bit more patience with you, then maybe this one. All right. So who wants to start?
Well, I'll start because I kind of with the whole if you know something else and bring it in. One of the games on here is Karuba.
Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen.
Karuba's great.
Karuba, you say K-R-U-B?
Karuba.
Oh yeah, I've seen this box.
So everybody starts with you have 4 adventurers and 4 temples. The adventurers are either they come onto the island from the water, and there's 2 edges of the map that are water, and the temples are on the opposite side in the forest. And your objective is to get the matching adventurer to the matching color temple. Excuse me. You do that by placing those tiles. Go back 1. Go back 2. Those. You place those tiles on your map. They cannot be rotated. The number always has to be in the upper left. But you can place them anywhere. You can create dead ends. They don't need to be adjacent. You can do whatever you want with them. The trick of it, or the thing that's like, all right, you've played something similar. One person has those tiles shuffled and becomes like the bingo caller. So if I had them all shuffled in a stack, I would pull the top tile and I'd read the number. Then everybody playing would take the same number and then place it on their map somewhere, trying to get the trail from, like, if you look at the bottom left of that map right there, there was an adventurer off to the left, and then that trail will come up and you're trying to get them to go to the matching temple. So you're placing them, trying to connect the trails from person to temple. Along the way, there's diamonds and gold, and you can stop and pick up extra points. But that idea of it being like bingo, you can connect that. No, you've played bingo, so it's the same thing. I'm going to call a number. You're going to find the tile. You're going to put it down and create trails. It's really easy to get into. There's not much. Like the hardest thing about it is if you want to pick up a diamond or a gold, you got to stop on the tile, and then you can't cross over adventurers. Like, adventurers will block a path. Otherwise, it's pretty simple to get into.
Kind of reminds me of what was that Red Raven game with a Dingo's Dreams or something like that?
Dingo, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a bingo thing with that as well. Yeah.
Right. So I was talking about if you can connect it to something that people have already done, you can, like, King of Tokyo is another one that's like it's Yahtzee. You played Yahtzee, you get the extra rolls, and then you're trying to like King of the Hill Yahtzee. So if you can connect it to something that non-gamers have played, I'm assuming more people play Yahtzee. I'm sure more people have played bingo. But if you can connect it to something that's simple, then it makes it, oh, okay, I can do this, rather than, I don't know, this isn't Monopoly. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
Katya?
I had written most roll and write or flip and write as a broad category. I think those games are great for people that aren't gamers because, yeah, it reminds them of Yahtzee or something like that. Like I have, it's called Age of War. It's like super simple. You have face-up cards of different colors and you're trying to get sets because they'll be worth more once you have the whole set. But you're rolling dice and you're trying to get cards. And as long as you don't have the set, the cards remain face up and people can steal them if they decide to go for that one. So it's just, dice chucking and basically locking in the dice that you want to keep, and then you roll the rest. And then, it's super easy and it's a great filler. And it's something that, you don't have to like pay attention to the game like during everybody's turn type of thing. Like it's, you can chit chat. So stuff like that, I think is a great non-gamer game.
That's cool. I didn't know anything. I have that, and I didn't know anything about it. Now I want to play it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And it travels really well because the box is like this big. Like it's small. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't think I have any dice rolling, and I'm trying to look. And you're right, dice rolling is a fairly easy concept for most.
Yeah, like
people
this
to
one's
grab.
not even right. This one's just roll. But like I'm thinking of Railroad Inc. I've brought to people that aren't necessarily huge gamers, and it went over well. So, and I mean, I haven't played the Gong Schlever or whatever you call him, but I don't know what.
You were close. You were close on that one.
Right. But yeah, I think those are probably in the same category of like it's easy to learn, and it's kind of like Yahtzee. So
Very cool.
yeah.
My first one is a easy to get, easy to play one. Just one.
We have a crossover.
Oh, awesome. Well, it's one of the reasons why it's so well known is because it's just so easy to teach. And, if you haven't played it, this pretty much sums it up right here. Someone picks a word. Everybody writes a clue with that person not looking. You compare the clues. If anybody has the same clue, you get rid of them. And then they have to guess what the one word is. So simple. I mean, that's basically it. That's all you have to say to your family members, and then you could get right into it. And it's weird to me how fun it is. Like we've gone through all the cards probably twice at this point. It's so easy. So, real easy.
We played that actually with my mom at the one Christmas, and I forget who mentioned it, but we didn't have the actual game. So what we did is basically the person who would be doing the guessing would pick a page in the dictionary and then would pass it over to the other people. And then they would basically pick a word at random and all agree on it. It's like, yeah, we're picking this. Okay. And then they'd close the dictionary and then write a clue. And then the person guessing would try and guess that word. So like you don't even need the game per se to play it. So
I mean, there's a few games like that. Yeah, I mean, there's a few games like that, like the Mind. You only need 100 cards, stuff like that. This one you can still get at Target, I believe, $20, I think.
Yeah, it's around $20. It's
15 to 20, maybe.
It's less now. They're having their Black Friday sale. I think it's super cheap.
Well, yeah, this is the easiest one you'll have to get in front of your family. So, in my opinion,
I agree.
Mike?
That's a good one. Back to me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Hold on, I'm looking up.
You're not ready.
No, I am. I'm looking up just one on Target.
Oh, you can do your
Gonna-
shopping later on or
We're
shop.
gonna
No,
hook up our viewers.
It's a really good game. Like to think about gifts, we're in the holiday season now. I don't know why it's not coming up on their site, but I know they're having some sort of game sale.
Oh yeah, I got I don't advertise for people for free, but I've got a few newsletters in my email that I've already bought games. I mean, you throw big, 77% off of stuff, and I'm like, all right, well, that's a pretty cover. I mean, you take that much off of it, it's not going to take too much to get me to get the game, right? So,
Yeah.
So anyway, what's your next game?
All right.
There, Luke?
I'm gonna stick with dice rolling and go with Run, Fight, or Die.
Talked about this last week, right?
Yeah, it's still a favorite of mine. It's really
the new
easy.
one. I imagine it's the only one they can get.
Second one, yeah, the second edition is.
Reloaded.
I mean, you can still get the original. I mean, I'm sure people dumped that one to get this new one, but it's that Yahtzee mechanic, right? You're keeping some stuff, you roll in other stuff. Zombie heads lock, so it's all right. If you roll a zombie, you can't re-roll it. You can modify the game and not have to play with the main mutant, which is like you just take it out of the game and just play like last person standing. But really, you're just trying to roll combos. You're rolling your dice, you're keeping some stuff, trying to get the right symbols for the right zombies on your board. And we talked about it last time, but each level, there's zone one. There, go back. Go back one. There. So zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, right? 3 is far away. Zone 2 is getting closer, and zone 1, they're right on top of you. And if they move from zone 1 to your character board, you get hit. But on the right there, you notice the symbols that the die interact with. So like it's easy to figure out if I have a runner on my die, if I have a gun on my die, what it's going to do on those different zones. So if my zone 2 is loaded up, then I know I don't need bats, right? I'm going to re-roll the bats because I need the runners and I need the guns or whatever. So it's really easy to get into the mechanisms of the game for someone who's not a gamer and take out like the big bad mutant. You don't have to play with the mutant when you're teaching people how to play it. So it's another one of those. This is something you've done before. This is what they do. This is your health. Let's start rolling.
Very nice.
Well,
fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. I played the Reloaded once. They streamlined it. It's not bad. I like the original one better.
Would you think the streamlined Reloaded is better for family or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't be, right? I wouldn't say go to the first one because it's easier or better for non-gamers. I'm sure they streamlined it because there were opportunities to make it quicker or faster or easier. So
nice, cool, Katya.
Another one of mine would be No Thanks.
That's a good one.
These boxes all look different. That's not what my box looks like. But
I know the box that I have is oversized. It's that blue one. It's way bigger than it needs to be. It's
Mine's
actually been a while
big.
since I played it, but from what I remember, is you're revealing a card and people get to decide if they pass on it or if they want to take it. And then I forget what the black things do.
So yeah, if the little sometimes they're red, but if you pass, you have to put it on there. And
that's right. And if you run out, then you have no choice but to take it. That's right.
Right, and they're -1 point at the end, and you want to have the least amount of points.
Correct.
So eventually, someone's going to take that card because it's got a pile of those things on there.
Yeah. Right. And if you have, so when you collect cards, the face value, they add up. So obviously you don't want to pick up high cards, but if you have a run, then you only count the lowest card and you don't count the other ones. So
So if she got 17, 16, 15, it's only 15 points, not
correct. Yeah. So that there's a little bit of strategy, but it's nothing too crazy that's gonna make your brain melt. So it's easy for people to learn. And again, it's just kind of like sitting around a table, and it doesn't require too much attention. So it's good.
I really like this game. I considered it, but the reason why I didn't is because it took me like not until after the first play, I was like, oh, that's how I should have done it. That kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you always get that second play out of family members.
Well,
That's
I
the only
think,
reason why I
yeah,
didn't.
I think that one is easy to play more than once. And I think that's how you can get them hooked, you know?
Yeah.
They get that feeling of, oh,
Mhm.
okay, now I want to play this again. Yeah. There's another game you would also like. And then you just kind of bring them in.
Just takes one hook, right? You just get them hooked with one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great game. Unfortunately, it's 3 to 5, I think, so you can't play it with 2-player.
It says 3 to 7 on there, but
Well, fine. My version that's like this big is 3 to 5, so maybe that.
oh, okay.
goes up
I
or
have the 3 to 7.
Oh, okay. Okay, so my next one is Concept.
Never played that.
This can somebody's bed. Weird. I never know what pictures are gonna pop up on here. This is in some ways it's more of an activity than a game because we ignore the points. In fact, the rules in it say you can just ignore the points. Like they give different ways of doing points, but they're like, eh. And all we do is we just go around taking turns. It's kind of like, I mean, it's basically what's that thing called where you act it out and people guess what you're doing?
Charade.
Charades. Thank you. So it's basically kind of like charades, except you can't act anything out. You have to use these little icons on the board, which makes it harder. But it's kind of like charades for people who don't like to act out in front of people.
Wait, didn't you made a
I
game
did.
like that?
Yeah, we
remember
played
that.
a game on here
Mhm.
where I used these icons. I called it Concept to let everybody know, but and I tried to get people to guess. I think maybe movie quotes. I don't remember. Do you remember what
I
it
don't
was, Mike?
recall if it was movie characters or movies but it was early on in the show.
Yeah.
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 I was just trying to find a good picture of the board, but they don't really show it because it's got all these little icons on it. I mean, that's not great. But
If you can get the mat, they make a player mat that's bigger than the board. It's awesome.
do they? Oh, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, for instance, if I want to say the movie Batman, I'd put my big green question mark on movie so everybody knows they're trying to guess a movie. And I'd put a little green cube here on the man. And I
Mhm.
might put a green cube over here to say that he's fictional, that kind of thing. 20 questions almost, but with icons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and by the way, in my game group, the minute you put a question mark here, people say Batman.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's always the first thing everybody guesses. And it worked once. So, but yeah, Concept.
I don't think I've ever played that game by the rules. I think it's always been that kind of thing where it's like we're just gonna try and guess something and have fun with it.
There is a kids version. I haven't played it. So
That's a good one.
we need more cards. Who would buy a new deck of cards if someone's listening? All right. So that goes to Mike again.
Yeah, I don't know where I want to go with this one. I have one on here that I think Kathy is gonna do, so I might use that one now.
That's not fair. I've already had one of mine taken away.
I know.
Oh.
I don't want this. I know you're not. You guys are not gonna do these other two.
Trying to eliminate hers.
I'm nervous about this one. I'm gonna do it now. It's just a simple card game. has to do with colors and percentages called Illusion.
I almost did, and then
Oh,
I didn't because we just talked about it. I was like, I'll just skip it.
I
But
just
yeah.
bought this today on one of those discounts. It's 77% off right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's super easy to get into. Like the hardest part about it is to remind people that the color of the arrow is the color you're doing from round to round, because people will
Mhm.
forget that, oh, it's red this turn.
Yep.
But yeah, you're just trying to put them in order from lowest to highest, and at any point you call bullshit. And if you're right, you get the arrow. If you're wrong, the person to the right gets the arrow, and you play till whenever the hell it is, first one to 3 or something.
Which is funny. It's funny to hear you describe the game because that's how I play it, where it's like, nah, I call bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the rules they say you say, no, this is wrong.
Yeah, no, bullshit.
Depends on the family, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're
I
playing it in
don't
the
think I'll be doing that around grandma, but
in the when things were normal in class with the kids, the 10th graders that we were doing the game design with, this became one of their most favorite games, and they call bullshit. Like it was bullshit every time something was wrong. They're like, "Not bullshit."
Yeah.
But it's super easy to get into. It's very limited rule set, right? You're gonna flip over a card. You're gonna figure out based because you know what the next card is. So if you feel confident enough to get the next one into the thing and go around, you might get the arrow. But if you think the person to the right screwed up, and it doesn't necessarily
I'm
mean
hidden. Have I
it could be
been playing
anybody
this
in the
wrong?
round screwed up.
I
Huh?
think I've been playing this wrong. We keep the top card hidden.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
How? You can't.
Well,
So-
yeah, that's the thing is we like just pick from the middle of the pile, but that makes
Oh,
more
no.
sense.
So you always see the next one because then you know, like, all right, looking at what's there, right? If I think that the run is fine, I know that that's the next card. If I decide to not call bullshit, then I need to take that top card and put it into the run. And do I think I can get away with it, or should I call bullshit now?
Oh, okay, see, because the way we play it, basically you have to, it's more about seeing what's there and do you think it's right? And if you think it's right, it's like, all right, well, pick yourself a new card and deal with it.
Right?
Yeah. But this makes more sense. Yeah, I'm sure I've been playing it wrong.
I love it. It's great. Again, the hardest part about it is to remember what color it is for this round, because there's plenty of times where I've put a card into the row and everyone's looking at me going, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm thinking it's red and the color's yellow, and I'm like, well, last one it was red, so this would have made sense, but totally screwed up. Multiple times in a round I've done that.
I mean, the arrow's right there, right?
No,
I
get
know,
it.
but you tend to go by the last color that you were placing in order for some reason. That's what sticks in people's head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll find out when it reaches me.
Yeah, well, you will.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good one. I love
I'll
that one.
also find out which one of you has been playing it correctly.
It's probably Michael.
I mean, I'm okay with house rules.
I play by my own rules.
Yep.
Cassia?
Oh, okay. I will go with, I'm going to put it here. I mean, it's a gateway game at the same time as it's for non-gamers. I think anybody can learn it and love it. I'm nominating Sagrada because I taught it to my mom. And so that says a lot. And it was kind of like the way that, because she does Sudoku puzzles, this game resonated with her because it's, like you, depending on the scoring cards, like, okay, so you're not going to want the same number in the same row, or like the same colors or whatever. So it has that Sudoku feel, and it's very puzzly. So that appealed to her. I mean, she still struggled a little bit, with the strategy, like as the game went on, like she cornered herself a couple times, but she was able to understand the game, and we played it a couple times. So I think that one, even though it's a little bit more, complex than some of the other ones we've mentioned, I think that one can really get somebody can really open somebody's eyes to gaming and what it has become. And I don't know. I mean, it's hard to get non-gamers to game and not want them to keep gaming. So that to me is like the one that it's you slip it in there. It's like this will hook you in. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I had it on my list. I crossed it off.
I think I would have added it to the list if I could house rule. Just for family version. Just to take out the the actions that you can do with the
the tools?
The tools. I think if you were to take that out, it'd feel a little closer to the lightweight non-gamer family version. So I think you're right that this is a gateway game, but for what I was thinking, it's just that one little step higher, Although I like the tools, I like playing with them, but
yeah, without the tools, there's no release valve for that mistake you make, right?
Right, but it becomes like more like a puzzle that people are familiar with,
Sure.
And you can kind of block people out of using those tools too, and that's a little not mean, but a little more competitive than the family non-gamer family weight I was looking for. So.
Fair enough.
But yeah, great game. My next one is the one I was saying might be a little heavier, a little more rules to discuss, but it's called We're Doomed. Has either one of you played We're Doomed?
Mm-mm.
No.
So We're Doomed came out just before the pandemic, which is funny, just because of the name. And it's, end of world is about to happen, and all the nations are getting together to build a rocket. So everybody's playing a nation, not a literal nation. You're given like a thing that says like, oh, we're capitalist and we're communist or something like that. I don't remember I could look at the pictures. So democracy. I can't see that I can't see that one. Corporocracy. I can't say that one is what it really is. Well, they only have two pictures apparently. Anyway, trying to get to a table here. Not everybody's faces, but a table would be nice. They have it in Russian apparently. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll look at it in Russian. So anyway, you're playing like different nations, and you're all trying to get a seat on that rocket. And you can either do a thing where you like help build the rocket, or you can try to build influence so that you get on the rocket. So it's this kind of, and then after a while, people start getting ways of voting people off the rocket. And once you get voted off, you might be trying to stop the rocket from being built so that you can then get back on it, all kinds of things. But it plays in 15 minutes, and it comes with a hourglass. It's like this big, really nice big hourglass. I should have gotten it out to show it. In fact, I showed it at our components.
Yes, that was the episode I was on.
Yep.
So
I showed that on the components one, on our components episode. So it's 15 minutes. You just put it there, no matter what. There's no stopping it or anything. It's going to end in 15 minutes, and you've got that long to play this game. So it's not that hard to get into, but it's a different concept, and that's why it's a little on edge of should you play this with the family.
Cool.
Yeah. And you can play it.
I realized I got all excited. I'm like, yeah, that was the episode I was on. The people that have only watched since I've been on the show are probably like, okay.
You're on all the episodes.
Yeah.
That was the first episode.
I was really excited for that one because it was about components. So.
Yeah. As a guest, that was your first episode.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, I helped work on it a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh.
I did some little file stuff for it or whatever, but all right, Mike,
That does look like a pretty big timer.
It's
does.
huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to, I don't remember where I had the box. Otherwise, I'd pull it out again and show it. What are we on? Number 2, number 3, number
Yeah.
2? Number 2. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to a roll and move, a cooperative roll and move.
Ooh. Which is
Ghost fighting treasure hunters.
is that what it's
yes.
called?
Yeah.
It's Geister something in German, but it's ghost fighting treasure hunting. Treasure
I
hunter.
don't know what this is.
It's got cute little.
Oh,
They almost look like glow in the dark ghosts, but they're not glow in the dark.
They
They
really
totally
should
should have
be.
been.
Yeah.
oh, I've seen this cover before. I
It's
didn't know
great.
it was a roll and write.
It's a roll and move.
Roll and move.
It's Mattel, designed by Brian Yu, who does great stuff. But basically, you can play up to 4 players. Think like the board and Clue, right? There's like the hallways. You can walk around from room to room. Your objective is to get right on the bottom of that screen. There is a gem. You can also change it. That's fine. There's 8 of them. You can play the advanced mode, which is you shuffle them and you put them face down in the rooms. Your objective is to get them out in order. So you have to go from 1 to 8. Your little meeples, those colored meeples there, have a backpack. And when you pick up a gem, you put it in like that. You put it in your backpack. Once you pick it up, you can't put it back down. So you're rolling a die. There's 1 die, which is your movement. If you roll a 6, no ghost comes out. But any other number you roll, a ghost will come out. And it'll come out in a specific room. If any of the rooms ever get 3 of the little green ghosts, the room gets haunted. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody paint those.
Well, I like that. That's pretty good.
That's amazing.
If the room gets haunted, then the green ghosts go away and you drop a red one. If all the red ones are out, then you lose the game. But then you fight. If you're in the same room with somebody, you can roll 2 dice, but then you roll a die to fight it. And if you're fighting a green ghost, you want the green to come up on the die. If you're fighting the red ghost, you want the red to come up on the die. And there's a percentage of how hard it is to get a red one versus a green one. But it's cooperative, so it's not hard. It's easy to get into. You're gonna roll. If it's got a ghost, you're gonna drop a ghost into a room, and then you're gonna use that number to move around. And you're trying to get into the rooms to get the gems and trying to get them out in order. So it's an easy rule set. Roll and move is something that most people know. It's that doesn't happen in the game, but yeah. So that's another one on my list.
That one's creepy.
Yeah, very.
I think it's creepy because they put the black
outline.
Yeah, kept the
Yeah.
guy liner on.
But you know what does happen in the game is that you end up putting the little ghosts on the tip of your fingers because they fit there.
Yeah, if those things were glow in the dark, it would be great.
Oh, it's fun. You picking a roll and move.
I love that game. I love it.
Very cool.
Yep.
Katya, number 2.
What am I gonna pick here? I did not put them in order. I pulled a Michael.
Yeah, mine are not in order. They never are.
Mine aren't that much in order either. Honestly.
Just one got used, and okay, so I think I'm gonna go with Mountain Goats.
Nice.
I think it's by Board Game Tables.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very portable game. It's got cute goats, and you're rolling dice to make your goat climb up to the top of the mountain and grab tokens. So basically, you're aiming at getting the most amount of points as you can from those tokens. So when you roll your dice, you can divide them however you want in terms of numbers so that your goat will go up according to however the total is. And so like that example there, somebody went, okay, I'm going to use the 5 as a 5, and then the 4 and the 2 will be a 6, and then I'll use the 6 as a 6. So that means that the red goat went up twice on the 6, and then the red goat went once on the 5. So anyways, you're trying to climb up to the top. Once your goat is at the top, it basically can remain there as long as you continue to roll those numbers and nobody else has caught up to you. You will continue to stay at the top, and just every time that you roll that number, you'll just grab a token and stack them up. And so obviously when that happens on the 9 and 10, people will try and really hurry up to catch up to you and boot you back down to the bottom, because that's what happens is when somebody reaches the top and you're already there, you get kicked down to the bottom. So that's why the 9 and 10, the tracks are shorter. And then on top of that, there's bonus tokens on the sides there. I think it's when you get one of each of the numbers, like when you get a token of each, then you grab one of the bonus there. And that's basically it. That's all it is. It's like super easy. You're rolling dice and moving some goats. So I think it's super approachable, and anybody who's not a gamer would enjoy that, I think.
Okay. I got a problem with this game.
What?
As it reminds me of my nemesis, the little ram in Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh God.
Because that ram have knocked me off the mountain, several mountains, so many times. Like you said something about once you get somebody can knock you back off the mountain, because that's what the ram does. I've hunted the ram down for that very reason. Every time I see a ram in Zelda, I kill it immediately out of anger. I will never forgive, because it's knocked me off the mountain several hundred times. I hate it.
Okay, well,
That being
that's
said, this looks like a fun game.
The game is great, and it's real fun. So
yeah,
that looks good.
In the same series and equally as approachable, I think Sequoia is awesome.
Yeah, I really like that one too.
Same thing with the rolling the dice and splitting them up into numbers, but you're dropping your flowers onto numbers for majority. It's still easy to get into, easy rule set, but same company and same component kind of quality. It's really good.
Very cool. Nice. All right. Back to me.
Mm-hmm.
You.
All right. Let me see if I can pick a game with someone's nemesis. Probably not. So Suro is my next pick.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's really easy to. Wow, who put these pictures here? Seriously. All right, here we go. No, sort of. Okay, so everybody has this little stone, and that's who you are. Just show me the maze. Come on, it'd be so easy. Wow. Okay, finally. So everybody starts on the edge. You put a tile down. You have 3 tiles. You put a tile down, and your little piece starts moving along that edge. All you're trying to do is not fall off. You want to be the last one to not fall off, because eventually, like if somebody puts this one right here, this guy would just go wee and fly off, and yellow would win. Don't make me repeat the wee. I don't know why it looks like people are making their own, I guess. Wow, that must be a prototype copy or something. But anyway, there's a blue version too. I think it has a boat or something in it. But yeah, sure, very easy. Get people right into it. Even my game group plays it to fill in space for waiting for another table to finish, so we can do new games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
My only problem with that one is that it's player elimination in a way.
It is, but it's also 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But I could see that. Yeah. All right, Mike again.
Michael.
All right, before I mention my last one, I need to mention a game of cat and mouse.
You get 5.
I know.
5 games.
Just didn't make it. A game of cat and mouse is 2-player, really easy to get into. The structure of the box, the components, everything about it is fantastic. Mouth, not mouse.
Mouth?
It's a play on word.
Yes. That one.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic. Last Christmas, I bought out Target every time I saw a copy and gave it to as many people as I could. The game's fantastic. It's 2-player. There's a cat paw, and it's magnetic. And you're putting these rubber balls in the cat paw. You're flicking them across at that thing, basically. Trying to win in 3 different ways. If you can knock the black one out of the cat's nose, you win. If you can
Okay.
get all 3 white ones that are in its mouth on one side, you win. Or if you can get all the yellow on one side, you win. And you're trying to do it as fast as possible. First to 5. My sister, who is not a gamer, I brought this to her and she fell in love with it. We played it for hours. It's just super fun. It's inexpensive. But I wanted to mention it because it should be, if not many people have seen it, or the cover is a little weird when you see it at Target. Pick it up. It's a lot of fun.
Kind of reminds me of Clax.
Oh
You seen
yeah.
it?
Yeah. Yep. Kind of.
Cool.
All right.
All
So
right,
my
what's your
number,
real 5?
my real number 1. Again, I showed this to my mom and my sister, who are not gamers, and they fell in love with it. It's called a la carte.
It's French. I like it.
It's a cooking.
A C.
Huh?
With a C?
Yes.
I don't know how to spell.
It's
A
probably 3
space-
different words.
Yeah. A space LA space. A la carte.
1889.
Yeah. Yep.
Aww.
So super simple. You're gonna try and find. You're gonna get an ingredient, which is one of those things. You're trying to get one of each color. Those little salt shakers have the ingredients in it along with salt. So right there, you're looking at the red peppers with the white ones were salt. You're trying to get the ingredients in your pan that are needed for the dish. And if you can get it perfectly or with less than 2 salt, you've completed the dish and you can move on. You get 3 actions on your turn, and one of them is taking that little salt shaker and going like this, trying to get an ingredient out of it. Super simple.
Do they still make this game?
They did a reprint recently.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I was seeing up here.
I don't know if it's out, but I know they redid it. But so the game's simple. There's a one of the things you need to do is like a flapjack, and you gotta it's in your pan, and you gotta flip it and catch it. It's just gotta be face up. But you have a stove with your pan on it, and there's a temperature you gotta set it at. There's dice you can roll that'll increase your temperature. You can make it too hot. You can over salt it. Like there's ways to screw up the dish, but it's super simple. 3 actions. One of the more frustrating things in the game is when you take the salt shaker and you do this and nothing comes out. But it's fun. It's a good one. I know that one's out of print. I don't know if the new one is in print.
Of course it is.
I know they were doing a reprint of it. It was harder to find for a while. And funny story, and I didn't realize this, but in 2019 at the Gathering at the flea market, there was a copy of this, and I bought it, and I just bought it ahead of Bobby. And Bobby was like, "You son of a bitch! Like I've been looking for that game. You talked all about it, and then you bought a copy." I'm like, "Well, I want another copy." So this year at the Gathering, sure enough, there's a freaking copy of it, and I ended up getting it, not thinking that Bobby wanted to get a copy, but I ended up giving him that copy.
No, that's nice.
But yeah, it's super fun.
Is it nice? You already have a copy of an out of print game, and you're buying more of them,
Yes, because they're out
keeping
of
them from other players.
Yes,
Well, no, because it goes in the library for QSCon.
bingo.
And then tons of people get to play it.
See?
So you wouldn't be doing that if you didn't have that library for QSCon, I guess.
Not at all.
I almost believed you.
Yeah, I don't need 3 copies of a game.
Right.
Oh.
All right, Katya, what's your number one?
My number one brings me back to like my beginning of getting back into gaming. It's Love Letter.
Draw a card, play a card.
Yep.
Wow, has it really been since 2012?
They have like 2012 editions of it too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's the one here is it's like a more Japanese or like a more I think it's something to do with the 5 rings actually.
Oh wow.
Oh, hold on. Let me put you up there since you're talking about your version.
So it's sleeved, so it might be a little bit shiny, but the name of the there you go. The name of the cards are like in Japanese, but then it tells you underneath what it is.
That's cool.
But the artwork on it is just really nice.
Mm.
It's a little bit less cartoony. Yeah, you have this one here. That's really pretty.
Yeah. I like
So
that.
it's a really, like for those who haven't played it, it's basically you're trying to, at the end of the game, when all the cards have been played, you're trying to end up with a princess who is worth 8 points. And all of the other cards, like all of the cards basically have abilities, like they tell you what to do when you play those cards. And some of them will allow you to, look at somebody's hand, swap a card with somebody else. And so as you play, as it goes around, then you start to know what people are holding or might suspect what people are holding because you know how many cards have been played and which ones have been played. So you can kind of like card count a little bit in your head, but there's always a card or like a few that are hidden. So there's a little bit of that mystery. You're not sure 100% what people have. But yeah, it's super easy. It's basically that. You play a card and you draw one.
I have
so many different.
Chris, can you go back like 5? Is that black? That's Baldric. That's Black Adder.
Yeah.
Oh my god, if they have a Black Adder edition.
Some of these are fan made, I'm sure.
Sure. I don't care if it's fan made. Like someone actually took the time to make Black Adder, and that's awesome. If you don't know Black Adder, it's Rowan Atkinson, and it's hilarious. And you should all right, total derail this one, but man, that show is so funny. Now I'm gonna put myself on.
Oh, that's the one I want with Peach.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So my last one is Letter Tycoon. Designed by Brad Brooks, who I played with BGG today, this last week. So has either one of you played Letter Tycoon? This is basically any lover of Scrabble can easily move into this game. If I can find so it's a deck of cards with letters on them, right? And they tell you on there, caveat, I work for the publisher that makes it, and friends with the designers. But I've personally played this tons of times, probably more than a designer at this point. So it comes to your turn. You got 7 cards in your hand, 3 cards on the table face, and you're just trying to make the longest word you can with those cards. And whenever you make a card, whenever you make a word, out of the letters that you use, you can buy a patent, which is what this is. So, like if I buy the A for $8, you get money for how long the word is. If I buy an A for $8, every time somebody uses an A in their words, I get $1. So the more patents you buy, the more money you get. And at the end of the game, the value of your patents and your money is the win. real simple to get somebody into it because if they already know Scrabble or stuff like that, you just start making words, right? I'm not even really a big word game fan, and I'll play this every time. So it just plays really fast. I think 5 players is the max. And even at 5. And that is the first 3D object I ever made for a game. That blimp.
That's fun.
Funny little thing. I didn't know that'd be in there.
Is that a torpedo?
It's a blimp. Zeppelin. But yeah, Letter Tycoon, great game. I don't know what that is.
Cool.
Oh, I didn't know they made little trophies. That's fun. Yeah, all different cards.
It reminds me the idea of like.
She does
trying to
not
think
look
of the
happy to
longest
have this
word. It reminds me of Boggle.
Oh, there's Brad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Fan. Yeah, Boggle. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's our top 5. Where's that? Sharing here. That's our top 5 non-gamer family games. There's tons more. We could probably do like a top 20, but that'd be like a 4-hour episode, right? Not that we would ever have those.
Our top 42.
Top 42. We could probably.
We could do that.
I don't know if I could do 42.
Well, between us.
Oh, between us, yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna take a real quick thing to tell everybody about my convention experience, since I've sat through 3 or 4 of you talking to me about how much fun you had.
At least.
But to help it along, so I'm not just boring you with me talking, I made graphics. So at BGGCon,
I feel like that was a dig that we
No.
didn't do graphics when we went to.
No, it's better with both of you because you can talk to each other about it. But with me being the only one that went to BGGCon, I didn't want to just be the only one talking. So I made graphics. Basically, at BGGCon, it's 4.5 days or 5 days of gaming, and Peter Vaughn, friend of the show, Brad Brooks, also from Cardboard Alchemy, my partner in crime, Aaron McDonald, and I all just got together and just gamed the whole time. Like, we didn't socialize very well. Sorry about that, Lance, and everybody else who said, "Hey, we should play some games." I said, "Yep," and went and played games with Peter and Brad the whole time. I feel bad about that because I wanted to play games with them, but the convention is so big that the convention place is so big that where we were, I just never saw it. Like, if they'd walk by and we had games, I'd be like, "Hey, sit down for the next one," or something like that. But I would only run into them, like whenever you go eat or something like that. So it was never intentional. But this is the only time that Peter and Brad and Aaron and I get to play games. So kind of it's become a yearly thing for us to do. So anyway, Peter started telling everybody on Discord, kind of giving the lowdown of the game. So I thought I'd make a little graphic chart. Who I'd like to see. I will tell you that we played 15 games.
That's pretty good.
And 3 of them were cooperative.
Wow.
Well, one of those 3 is semi-cooperative, I guess. So, question: who do you think won the most? And I'll reveal that to you. Who's your vote?
I'm gonna pick.
I was thinking Aaron. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Aaron. I'm just gonna...
Mike?
Yeah, Aaron, 100%.
All right.
I think it's between Aaron or Chris, but I'm
right,
going with Aaron.
So, first game we played was Pan Am, and Peter wasn't there yet, so this one doesn't count against him. But Brad won that one. Have you played a Pan Am yet? That's on. It's a Target game. It's kind of at the weight of, I guess, maybe Ticket to Ride, maybe a little bit, one step above Ticket to Ride or something like that. But you're basically putting down trains and stealing off the Pan Am as they go. Fun game. I'd probably play it again. So Brad has one. Elysium was the next one. So Aaron took that one. I've talked about Elysium before. I think it's mostly a card game, but you're grabbing cards and then deciding which ones go down into like you're up into your domain. You decide then which ones go down in Elysium, the score. So you lose their power, but you get their ability to score at the end. It's a good card game. Cubitos, is that how you say this? You guys told me about this game, and I actually won it, despite it just felt like we all rolled dice until someone had the win. I mean, that's all it is, really, right?
And it's fun.
It's kind of a dice builder, right? So, like, you can buy new dice and stuff. And it had some neat little parts to it, but in the end, I was just rolling like 5 feet a turn. Everybody else was rolling no feet, and I just made it around the end. I never stopped once on anything. I just hugged the edge and went around the end and won. So
interesting.
For my first win of the convention, it didn't feel very victorious to win with that one, but I took the count, and that's when Peter showed up for that game. Path of Light and Shadow. I've talked about this game quite a bit.
Oh wow!
And it was Peter and Brad's first time, and Brad took it. This is Best Sobel Art, Gilmore. Actually, I think their names are all together. Travis Chance, Gilmore. Our names are all together. I don't know if she was just doing illustration or if she's actually designer too. Credit. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, great game, great deck builder. Altiplano is taken by Aaron. Altiplano is great bag builder. I don't know if you played this one or not. I've talked about it before, but they hadn't played it, or no, Peter had played it before. Brad hadn't played it. So Aaron destroyed us at that. Well, I got destroyed. I know that. I won't speak for everybody else. Nina Levere played that for the first time. Have you guys have played this before?
Yep.
No.
So I really like this game. I've had it on my list to get just because I thought I would like it. And I didn't do very well at it. In fact, Peter and I tied at losing on this game. But halfway through, I was like, "Oh, okay, Aaron's gonna win this, but I know what I'll do next time," kind of thing. We let her get all the purple, basically. So you can't let Aaron do stuff.
That's a good game. I like that one.
Crystal Mountain. Luke Laurie, Scott Caputo. This is a weird game. There's nothing right about it as far as theme goes. The mechanisms are nice. They're solid. They play well and all. But so you play workers who are building, they call it machines, right? And it's in this little bridge that you're building these machines. And once you start building them, and the machines are just little rooms like action spots. And once you get up to a certain level, water starts rising and drowning your workers.
Oh my God.
And it happens exponentially. And then once it gets, to a certain part, it ends the game. So you're like, what is going on? It describes like the ice melts on the mountains. So then the water starts rising. And like, why would you continue to work there? You just leave. Mm-hmm. And it's this really weird theme. And there's whistles. I don't know why there's whistles, but that's a resource. No idea. Very odd. But mechanisms, mechanically fun game. Interesting game. It's just I can't wrap my head around it because I don't know what I'm doing. So
that's kind of every game, though, isn't it?
We played Sleeping Gods for like half a day. a whole campaign. It was like 6 hours, I think.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And we didn't die. So I marked that as a win for everybody.
Okay.
Next day we played Azul. Peter was in some kind of meeting because he's so so he couldn't play with us yet. So I actually won the Azul one, but we were just showing it to Brad, so shouldn't count against him. Maracaibo, I played this for the first time and loved it. Have you played Maracaibo yet?
I have.
Yeah.
It makes me want to look up Alexander. Is it Pfister?
Yeah.
Must look up
Yeah.
his other stuff.
He did-
Just because I
he did.
enjoyed it so much.
Blackout. What is it? Blackout Hong Kong or Hong Kong Blackout?
Yeah, Peter mentioned that while we were playing.
And then
but
Broom Service, and then he just did Boone Lake, that just came
Big
out.
Cloud Age too, right?
Pardon? Yeah, I think so.
Cloud Age. He's got the sleeved cards, and when you go to get a card, you're pulling out like it's you have imperfect information when you're going to pull the cards. It was a very interesting mechanism that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, he's a good designer. I like his.
It's good stuff.
yeah, I have Broom Service. I didn't realize that was the same designer, and that's a good game. This one's a little heavier than Broom Service, but it was very nice. I can't wait to play that again. Oath.
Ooh.
Three-way tie? Wait, what? So you lost? That's what that tells us.
Yeah.
You lost.
I believe we all lost. In
No, but
playing
your
this
face,
game.
your face is not there.
No, my face is not there. No, it's not.
Correct.
All right. I'm wondering how much I should get into this.
Oh, this is gonna be good. Oh, I can't wait.
All right, so I have ranted about this game in the past because I backed it as a Kickstarter, opened up the rule book, and it says don't play your first game with 2 players, and that's how I learn all my games. So I was upset about that, right? So going to this con, Peter says he'd played once before. He could teach me. Finally, I get to play this game. So Peter did a good job of teaching. He had to look at the rule book again and stuff, but he did a great job of teaching us. We got into the game. And I think this designer, I would love to see a game by this designer after someone had actually developed it. Because this game just feels like someone sneezed out every idea possible and threw it in a box.
But
Every single card. What?
It's the same designer that did Root.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
And Root, and I love Root. People should know that. I love Root. I like what they did with that. I played Vast. I like Vast. This, oh, man, it was just okay. So all these cards lay out on the table. Every single card is like a paragraph to read, and you have to remember all of this stuff. And there's nothing that like eases you into it or anything like that. And then it's this push-pull thing where there's 8 rounds. If you're the chancellor, which I was, at the end of I think the 5th round, at the end of the 5th round, I roll a d6, and if I get a 6, I win.
What?
So even as I was about to roll, as long as I could stay chancellor that long, okay? And it wasn't that hard to stay chancellor till the 5th round, honestly. So I got the D6, and before I rolled, I was just like, it's gonna be lame if I win this way, because So I rolled it and win. The next round, I have to roll a 5 or 6. And at that point, they started like panicking and like attacking me and doing what they could. So then I thought, okay, if I get a 5 or 6, fine. I rolled, got a 3. Next round, if I get 3, 4, 5, or 6, I win. Rolled a 1. And at this point, I'm just like, just please beat me. I'm just so tired of playing this game. It got down to the last round. And if that round finished, then there's no rolling, I would win. Without them having some way of winning. Aaron, during this time, had a different way of winning by holding on to an object. So basically every round would be, and Brad had a way of winning by having the most places. So every round turned out to be me and Peter saying, okay, I'll stop Aaron from winning if you stop Brad from winning. And then you'll hope that I don't roll a 5 or something like that. And then at the end of the round, after my turn, Aaron took something from me that said I can't ever win. So I had to wait through 3 more turns, knowing I've lost. Then Brad did something to Peter, letting him know he couldn't win. And then at the end, everybody said, "Oh, if the Chancellor doesn't win, that says that they all win." It's just
That sounds terrible.
it was a horrible experience. I do thank Peter totally for teaching it. He did a great job. Taught it pretty quickly too. But yeah, I don't want to ever play that again. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
this isn't the first I hear that the game is weird or not that great, and you just reaffirmed that I have no desire to play this.
yeah. And we had figured out that if Aaron hadn't taken the thing from me that would let me win at the end, then that was it. Like I would win, but we'd still have to go through Brad's turn and then Peter's turn, and Brad would have had to decide, does he stop me from winning or stop Peter from winning, but he couldn't win himself.
Yeah.
Like, why do
And
you
what's the
want
point?
a game that puts people into that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was that experience. But they did win. They defeated the Chancellor, I guess, as a group. So
No,
well,
there's
it was
no I
bad.
guess. That it sounds like they did.
Well, actually, what was going to happen is Peter was going to win, but then Brad defeated him, and yet he still won. So, like I said, at the end of my turn, I had to wait for 3 turns knowing I had lost. And Peter knew at the beginning of the round that he'd won no matter what.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
just weird situation.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Next day, we cleansed our palate with Vagrant Song. Have you seen that? That was a Kickstarter, I think.
No, never heard of it.
I almost picked this up at Origins, but by the time it was on my radar, they had sold out.
Yeah, I think it did really well real quick. And then I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. Maybe just because it's just now being released or something. It might have been in the new the new spot. But campaign game, I think there were 23 stories in there. You're I guess a vagrant, homeless person traveling on the trains in the 1920s or something. And all kind of idealized, right? But you get sucked into a spirit world on board the train, and all the stuff happens on the train. It's kind of a weird situation, but it's decent. The mechanisms were real light, so it was all kind of story driven. For story, like most of these things, are kind of bleh, like just real quick, easy thing. So I didn't feel like really continuing it, but I thought it was, it was a good game. You like those kind of story games and stuff, you'd probably like this. And I put all of us winning on there because we didn't all die. So Aaron beats us all again on Altiplano. I don't know why we wanted to get destroyed again, but she went out a different way and defeated us. Altiplano, you can play like totally different methods almost every time you play. So, yeah. And then we played Caverna. This was first time Brad ever played, and he destroyed us. Well,
Wow.
Destroyed is not. He beat me by 1 point, and I was saying this in the Discord actually. He had 4 workers at the end. And I refused to make workers because it takes too much time. So I ended it with just my original 2 workers, and I think I did pretty well for never having more workers.
You did.
Like I said, it was his first game, and he beat us all. So gotta have kudos there. And then we played Origins First Builders. We talked about this game when we were talking about Essen. I don't know if you remember that or not. So we got to play that. Peter won that one. I wasn't a fan of it. mostly because it was a little fiddly, and the theme is, like aliens next to Greek builders and stuff, telling them what to do. Like it's like a really interesting theme, and it has nothing to do. You could take it all off of there. It doesn't matter. It's just it's mechanisms. It's dice placement and doing actions and stuff, but it has nothing to do with any of that stuff. And unfortunately, it didn't really work. But and usually I'm not like, if it was just Egyptians building stuff or something like that, that'd be fine. But whenever you present like a unique theme or something that isn't done that often, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a fun theme, and then it doesn't, you don't feel like you're actually in that theme, it feels kind of a sad loss. So that's it. We did play half a game of Beyond the Sun before they kicked us out. So they didn't kick us out, but they were like, library's closing, you gotta finish it up. So anyway,
So Aaron, we were right about Aaron winning.
Yep, Aaron won 8. It was pretty good game spread, honestly. I before this had been losing every game against Aaron for like the last 2 months.
Yep.
So at least I've broken that up a little bit. I've been on a losing streak.
Good.
So that's my BGGCon recap.
Nice.
Sounds like
Other than
fun.
getting to hang out with everybody, what was the highlight?
What was
Staying
it?
away from everybody else?
Yeah, so like I said, it was big enough where you could sit down and have empty tables all around you.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to do that. And because, we hung out with Peter and Brad whole time, ate lunch together and all that, we didn't. Oh, hey, Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Kids.
Besides the fact that I was coughing and sneezing the whole time, luckily, I'd get up, wash my hands constantly, not touch my face, all that stuff. I don't think either one of them got sick. So hopefully I didn't get them sick. I feel bad if I did, guys.
Yeah, somehow you got me sick. I don't know how you did it.
Yeah, I know. I channeled it all that direction.
It's a superpower.
Yeah. That's a hell of a superpower to have.
Especially in this time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just just a small thing. It's not that big a deal. So
Sure.
So anyway, that's my BGGCon experience, and I can't wait to go again next year.
It's cool.
Maybe you guys can join us.
That'd be fun.
Should be.
That way I can avoid you as well while I go play with Peter and Brett. No, yeah, I felt bad every time I ran into somebody else and they were saying, hey, I thought we were going to play games. I was like, yeah, we will. And we didn't. But, oh well. Like and subscribe. I just saw that button. So, oh, Matt's going to be there next year. Awesome.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
I will try not to hide away and
Don't
not play games.
don't try and play games with Chris. He'll just ignore you.
You're making me feel worse.
You can come play games with us. Chris doesn't want to play games with anybody else.
So the last thing we were going to talk about is finally you saw Black Widow.
Yeah.
What's funny is that he says finally, but really I saw it like a week before you. It's not even that
Finally,
long
you
ago.
both saw Black Widow. How
Yeah.
long has it been out? Like 2 months?
I don't know. We get busy, man.
This is a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and not really shaming because I haven't seen Eternals yet, and I didn't
Same.
see Shang-Chi in the theaters. I waited till
Yeah,
Disney
same.
Plus.
I just saw that one.
So not really shaming, but just like it kind of amazes me that before 2020, funny. Before 2020, you couldn't. I don't care if it was somebody's in my family's birthday. I was gonna go that night on opening night with the first showing see the Avengers or the Spider-Man or whatever it is. And now just 2020 took the wind out of it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why. You don't want to go to a crowded theater, all that stuff and all, but yeah, I don't know.
All that to say, December 17th, I will be in the theaters to see Spider-Man. Like, that's going to happen.
I'm hoping that Spider-Man gets me back into the motivation of seeing, the first one.
Yeah, that's gonna be bonkers.
I mean, I like Shang-Chi. We talked about that last episode, right? So don't shake your head.
It was good. It was good. It was just not that good.
Stop right there. Yeah. Well, it's not my favorite either, but Marvel movies, great. So anyway, give us your enthusiastic, happy to have seen its Black Widow review, Mike. And Katya, since we haven't heard from you since you only saw it recently too.
I loved Black Widow.
Really?
Yep, loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't know what to expect going into it. I thought it was more of an origin, and I was surprised to know that it wasn't. I mean, it was, but it's taking place in between other movies, right? This wasn't like her in the Red Room learning about how to become the Black Widow. This was more of a in-between movie kind of thing. Like, shit had happened that we knew about, stuff was going to happen that we're going to find out about. And this kind of, it just, I don't know, it felt like it was firing on most of the cylinders. I loved the play, the writing, the lines, the humor, like everything about it just seemed good. There wasn't anything, to me, there wasn't anything that was really a misstep.
What's crazy is I would have reversed your two opinions if someone had asked me to guess. I thought you'd like Shang-Chi more than Black Widow.
No, Shang-Chi set me off right in the beginning with the dumb bus chase, which was completely ridiculous. There's no way that bus is making those 90-degree turns as a double bus and not like that whole thing. I ranted about this last time. I'm not doing it again. There was nothing about it. Like, it was cool to see the dragons, and it was cool. Like, it was too predictable, way too predictable. And the beginning of that movie just set it off. Like, I'm not a big fan of Awkwafina. I thought she was just annoying. And the bus sequence was just like, what the? Ugh. I didn't like anything about it.
I knew I'd get a rant out of him.
Black Widow was just great. I mean, the writing, the humor, and I agree with Matt. Harbour is amazing. I love him. But I loved, even in the moments where you knew they were trying to be funny, it came across right. Like when the sister was making fun of her posing, and she got down and did the whole posing thing. Like, you knew what they were doing, but it felt more genuine than the forced laughter that they were trying to do in Shang-Chi. Like, it just didn't. I wanted it to be better, and it just, even through a second watch, it's not gonna be. Like, maybe there'll be more stuff coming out, because the 10 rings we've seen, like, in the beginning of this whole Marvel journey, we've learned about the 10 rings. We knew they existed. So it's like, okay, give me something. But Black Widow was just, it was great. Some parts were predictable, but most of it was just, like, it was a fun ride.
Katya, what do you think?
To me, so I really enjoyed it. What Mike felt during the bus thing of Shang-Chi is how I felt with the end of the whole everything crashing down in that movie. I was like, wow. I don't think he would have made it. So it was just like ridiculously like over the top agility that I don't care what your training was. Like, it was just like unbelievable. And the shit that hit, like, yeah, I'm sorry, you're taking like a massive beam across the head. You're not gonna make it. Like, it was that whole falling apart scene fell apart for me. Like, it was just like, yeah. But of course, you knew that everybody was going to make it fine because it was predictable. But yeah, so
I could
that
see
was
that.
my bus scene equivalent. Yeah.
Oh, that bus scene was atrocious.
I like the bus scene and the explosion scene.
What about the bus scene did you like?
I don't have to have my Marvel movies live in extreme reality.
No, that's fine. But like that, the bus scene was like the dragons flying around and doing all that thing. Great, that's whimsical and magical and like okay, I get it. But like, this is a double decker, not a double decker, but a two lane bus,
connected one. Yeah,
sure, taking 90-degree turns in San Francisco at 80 miles an hour. Like, no,
I don't know if it was 80, but yeah, I mean, I thought I don't know why Aquafina kept driving. Like once she grabbed the wheel, like why don't you just hit the brakes, kind of thing. I did remember questioning myself that, and also the articulated bus opinion. If you're going to watch Marvel, yeah, yeah. I mean, to some degree, always right. I like what you said about Black Widow being not really her origin, but kind of.
Yeah.
I knew they were going to do that going in. The only thing that I was kind of sad they didn't do was, like, I think in the comics they say that she's had some version of the super soldier serum.
Right.
Like there's some reason why she can hold her own with the Avengers, right? And I think it would have been cool if they'd introduce something like that, just a little something. And
because
okay.
All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say probably the same thing you are, which is that would explain all the past stuff where you see her like be thrown up by Captain America and she just grabs onto something and her arm doesn't get jerked out of its socket, right?
Right.
So.
Because, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, so her adoptive father in the movie is a super soldier, like has had some of that.
Right.
So right at the beginning of the movie, I thought, okay, this makes sense. And then you find out, oh, it's not her real dad. Okay. So I was really sort of, in that spot where I remember you had told me that she is supposed to have some of that in her. And then, during the whole movie, they don't explain that at all. And so anyways, regardless, I still feel like that still wouldn't explain all of what happens at the end and how they both survive. But anywho.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we don't have a whole series showing a whole bunch of people get super soldier serum, right? Mm-hmm. So why does it hurt to say that they have some kind of watered down version in them or so? She can't, arm wrestle Captain America and win, but she could still hold her own. And, I think it would have been cool to do that just so you could always say like that, that little flip she did that looked a little bit, didn't look quite human, you'd be like, it's because of Super Soldier.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe they're just trying to keep Captain America, special, or maybe also because of the series, they kind of infer that if you take the serum, you become bad, good, or like really like twisted or something. I don't know why they're going that direction with that, but
yeah. But otherwise, I enjoyed it.
Okay, I was about to ask, other than the unrealistic ending of the falling and all that.
Other than that, yeah, I enjoyed it. And same thing that Michael said, like the humor was well placed in there. Yeah, even like when the dad comes out with his suit, like when he's all dressed.
Yeah. I remember thinking while watching it that it was kind of like Marvel's Frozen with the sister thing going on, and that they too were doing a good job of showing a kind of sister relationship, even an estranged one. You know, I thought that was a good job.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, well, Black Widow did not break Marvel for anyone, so we're happy with that.
No, I mean, if anything, I mean, Black Widow is one of my least favorite characters of all of the Marvel. And that probably, I would say it helped bring her back up a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really neat. Like even the little Easter eggs, right? Like the vest that she's wearing when she goes blonde. That's her sister's vest.
Mm-hmm.
That was
We've
great.
seen that in other movies. It was clever. It was very clever.
It made me want to watch the continuation because that happens right before Infinity War, right?
Right.
So maybe want to just start watching Infinity War, and then I thought, I don't emotionally, I don't want to get involved in that again. Watch all my favorite people disappear. That's a hard one to rewatch.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, finally we're syncing up. Maybe, in a month or two, we'll see Eternals and Spider-Man and all of that stuff. So,
well, we're gonna have something cool to talk about on Monday.
Is that we have Hawkeye coming? Is that what it is?
24th.
Yep, that's Friday, right?
That's
Thursday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see Hawkeye. I mean, it's Thanksgiving here in the U.S. and other stuff going on. So we'll see if we all have time. I don't know. I'll probably just stay up and lose sleep to watch it, but whatever.
I hope it's good.
So some of that old Marvel enthusiasm still in there, right? All right. Well, we're gonna cut this show a little shorter than. Oh, let me see what time it is. Hour and a half. Obviously, some of us have some little issues to get over and all that stuff. But
I don't know what you're talking about. This is what I normally sound like.
What's in your drink right now?
I've been drinking NyQuil all night.
I know. That's what you said.
It's Palpatine's elixir.
It's creepy how happy he looks.
Yeah.
He's up to something.
He wants to hug you.
Yeah, the little hands.
That's a cool mug, actually. I like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and stop it here. Normally, we go to the Discord afterwards and talk to people there to continue the conversation. But tonight, if some of us are under the weather, we're going to cut it short tonight and not head over there. But do head over there and just hang out with us, talk about different things. We have conversations about Kickstarters that are going on and more than just board games. Sometimes we just talk about the silly, Marvel things that are popping up or Star Wars stuff and whatever else, geeky stuff you like to throw out there. I even go in there and play in that little RPG room sometimes still.
Oh, I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, it's good. You can do your monthly thing. You get some cool loot.
Yeah, I keep forgetting how to open a chest. It seems intuitive that you would just be like, open chest, but it's not. It's something stupid.
Yeah, it's RPG open chest.
Whatever it is. Like I forget what keys do I have? Like I need a cheat sheet for the dumb thing.
Type in RPG help and you've got your cheat sheet.
I don't think that's true. Is that true?
I don't know. So anyway, there is a cheat sheet in there somewhere, but you got to find it. I don't know. It's RPG help, I think.
No, isn't it like RPG CD or something?
No, that's it. RPG help, and you can flip through the pages, and they give you all the stuff you can do.
I'm not doing.
I've wasted too much time in there. But
no.
Yeah. I mean, I'm now. What level am I on there? I'm level 14.
How do you check your level?
RPG profile or P. I'll tell you what you are.
RPG.
Anyway, we're not going to play this game while we're sitting on the show, but oh yeah, you just did it. Look at that. Level 9.
Oh God.
way behind me.
A lot of
Anyway, yeah, that's in the RPG room on our Discord. But the link for our Discord's on the description. So is our Facebook group. Come and hang out with us. We'll talk to you on Monday.
I'm going to take 2 shots of NyQuil, and I'm going to be in the RPG room all night.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing lists and everything, guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you both again. Been
Yeah.
a rough week.
Yeah. We'll see you on Monday.
Got it.
All right.